Hey everyone, welcome to the No BS Travel Advisor Podcast. I'm Marcie Muensterman, your no fluff, no filter, tell it like it is coach. I'm so excited to bring you the stories, strategies, and straight up truths right from the mouths of your colleagues. So glad to have you here. Let's get to it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the No BS Travel Advisor Podcast. Today's guest is someone who embodies resilience, self-trust, and that bold energy we love in these parts. I'm sitting down with Elena, founder of Studio Rome, who's only been a travel advisor for about a year. When she filled out the form, it was around 6 months, and I was so excited to have a total newbie on the pod. She's a single mom by choice, a former fashion executive, and someone who turned chaos into clarity through yoga, manifestation, and excellent business strategy. And while most people are still trying to figure out how to find clients, Elena's already setting great boundaries in her business, creating those systems and building something real with a long-term 3-year vision rooted in sustainability, wellness, and family travel. I am so pumped to have her here. Welcome, Elena, to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me, Marcie. Longtime listener, first-time guest.
I love it. I'm pumped to have you. And I want to talk about all the things because one of the things you said a couple of times was that you feel like the universe brought you towards me. And I just want to talk about all the woo because I believe that we're all in each other's space for a reason. So how did you find me?
That is a great question. It was either the universe or the algorithms that brought you to me. One of the two, maybe a mix of both. But when I decided to become a travel agent, I wanted to do it right. So I went deep. I'm like, best this, best that. And there's a lot of noise out there on the internet.
There is.
And I took a couple of courses elsewhere, and it really felt like it just didn't mesh with my heart. It was like money-making things, or, there was one course where you have to pay $10,000 and then potentially they'll hook you up with some DMCs. And I was totally new. So I was like, maybe is that what you have to do to get started in this business? I found you in your direct approach and also the processes that you had in place. Like I saw that you had the courses put together. They methodically made sense. And I think I signed up for, I want to say all 3 on July 1st. And within 2 weeks, I had done them all. And as I was taking your courses, I created my own notes, even though you have all the templates there.
Right.
I'm a
No, it's
visual
good.
learner.
It's good to break it down so you can figure it out yourself. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
and
whole point.
it's amazing. I go back and reference those notes as well. Yeah, I just everything you say jives with me. And if there was a thing here or there that didn't, I'm like, take what works for you and move on. There's something you talk about with commission splits, and I'm still working my way through that.
Right.
And hopefully we'll get there next year. But almost 99.9% of what you said, I've been able to implement so far.
That's amazing. I think that's really special for new advisors because there isn't as much methodical strategy. It's so often just take a few things, I'm blanking on the name right now, learn your CRM. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, but how do I do this? Like, what happens when somebody reaches out to me? What is the process of how do I ask the questions? And I really don't think that we have access to a lot of that. I love too that you're like, there was so much noise because there is. And I became one of those pieces. I was like, yes, let me be louder than everyone else. But also just, I always tell people it might not be me, but find one voice to listen to because it does get confusing and piecemealing it together from tons of different people doesn't actually make it easier to learn this business. So
It doesn't. It actually feels a lot to me like when I became a new mom, which was during the pandemic, there is so much information out there. It's like information overload about how to be a mom. Do you want to be a gentle mom? Do you want to be an overbearing mom? Do you want to just be a mom of the 80s? And at some point, I would ask my mom, you talk about pregnant pause. There's something called, or pregnant, pre-K pause.
pre-K.
I read this.
Pregnant pause is a thing. Is that what you're about to talk about?
Yeah. So there's Bringing Up Bébé, which was this French rearing of children books that I read. And they have something called Les Pause. And it's more about not going to your kid in the middle of the night when they're crying. They have to learn on their own. And I would ask my mom, what do you do with this information? She's like, just listen. The strongest tool out there is your gut. Just listen to it. And so the same thing happened when I became a travel agent. I'm like, I want to be the best mom. I want to be the best travel agent. Like, where do I go for this information? And after so much, I'm like, this speaks to me. This resonates. This is what I'm going to go with. And I'm actually going to just like block out the rest of the noise because it is too much. It is too much. And I can't spend all my time learning and none of my time earning. So you works for me. Other things are great as well, but like it just doesn't jive with the way my brain works.
Absolutely. I think that's so smart. And you're right about the mom stuff. I mean, I always talk about just the fact that when I became a mom, there wasn't as much social media judgment and conversation and influencers. And as I got into parenting, it got worse and worse for moms, I feel like out there. So it's already confusing enough, but we also have to add that element of like, how much do we share and what do we do? And with travel, it's very much the same thing. I'm sure it's like that in every industry. There's probably just loudness in every space of our life. So it is so smart, I think, for you to have like narrowed down and just focused, especially when you found it worked for you. And that's the whole point. If it's not working, we have to change it. But if you start off on the right foot, you're going to be leaps ahead of other new advisors. So I'm super excited. And speaking of being a mom, I would love to hear more about your journey of becoming a single mom by choice.
Sure. I think we might need more than 90 minutes, but
We might need more, but let's break it down for the audience because this is kind of a cool story. Like, I was so pumped to read about this.
yeah. So I am a single mother by choice. That means that I chose to have my son on my own. In my case, I used a sperm donor, but there are lots of different ways to become a mom. So yeah, I think I always knew I wanted to be a mom. It was just in my bones. I didn't really question it. But I also loved traveling and loved adventure and loved partying and like just did not date marriage material for a very long time. And by the time I did, I was like, by the time I realized, oh, I got to start working on having that kid I just know I'm going to have.
Our eggs do not replenish.
Who knew? Who knew?
That once you start researching that, you're like, this is why there's a ticking time bomb in so many women.
I know. It's crazy. So I think I was probably like, I don't know, 32 when I was dating a guy that was like 10 years older than me. Was very clear about the fact that he never wanted to have kids. And I was like, oh, I think I do. So we broke up. Still, that guy is like one of the best relationships I've ever had. But yeah, so I started dating the right kind of guy, like marriage material. And I would date a guy for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then go, this isn't the one. And then I met someone that was a single mother by choice. And I was like, wait, what? How do you do that? How do you afford that, first of all?
Right, right.
And I spoke to her and it was really interesting. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn more about this. I read a couple of books and then I got a boyfriend. So then I dated another guy for like a year and then realized, I don't think I want to be with him forever.
Girl, time is ticking away with these onesie twosie relationships.
I know. I'm so
I'm like, I love it. It's like, y'all, she does not have trouble finding the men. It's just the right man to have a baby with.
Yeah, I mean, there's only going to be one that makes the cut. So yeah, then I started researching more and I actually went on to found the best sperm donation bank and then started like researching. It's a website. It's like a dating website. You know, you go on, you see these cute little baby pictures and you're like, oh my gosh, do I want my baby to be like half Chinese? Like, this is so great. But there are a lot of requirements that you should look at if you're going to be, use the donor. Primarily it's like health considerations. I had a genetic panel done. Turns out, I mean, I'm Latin, but I'm 21% Ashkenazi Jew.
Okay.
And there are a lot of like genetic factors. So I could not pick another Ashkenazi Jewish person.
Got it. Okay.
And like just, making sure that we're not recessive carriers for the same thing. There's all sorts of medical things that you want to check. And then you're like, education, height, looks. When you have a child in this manner, when they turn around 3 or 4 years old, they start asking questions like, where did it come from? Who's my dad?
Absolutely.
So one of the books I recommended, pick a donor with similar features as you. Like if you do pick that half Chinese baby and you are a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, like that kid's gonna go, what? Like, who do I look like? But if they tend to look more like you, it's like more accepting. They have less self-identity issues. So they say. We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, all of our kids are going to go to therapy for one reason or another. Elena, don't worry about it.
I know.
and it's my husband and I look a lot alike. And I'm always like, we did just turn into like the Taylor Swift song. Like everybody on the block looks like my husband, but it does make sense. And it's amazing how much research you do for everything, it seems like. And
Yeah.
this is just an excellent way to lead your life.
making informed decisions. Yeah, so I narrowed it down. There were all these baby pictures. And you never know, like, cute baby doesn't equal like handsome adult, but like that's not really the priority. So I like had favorited maybe like five. Okay. The
Mhm.
genetics match, education, what they look like, no history of like cancer in their immediate family, et cetera, et cetera. And then I met another guy,
Of
ARL.
course.
And I was like, this will be the one. And he was an amazing guy and he wanted to get married and he loved me. And I was just like, so
Okay.
we very mutually broke up. I called my doctor because I had been to a fertility doctor just to check things out. And she's like, everything seems fine, but like, yeah, you're getting older. We broke up. I called the doctor and was like, I'd like to come in and do, IUI. She said, your eggs are fine. You don't need to do IVF. We'll probably do 5 to 6 rounds of IUI. And if nothing takes after that, we could try IVF. And I was like, let's just see how this goes and see what I'm up for emotionally and financially. So I went back to the shopping cart with like my 5 or 6 preferences. And it's usually just baby pictures. I went back to my cart and I was like, my God, this one, which was my favorite one, had a picture as an adult. And that is not common. And this guy was hot. I was like, I would date him in real life.
I would date him in
I
real
would date him in real life. Checked out so fast. I was like, check out. And they only allow so many checkouts. Like they can't have, the reputable companies don't want, 62 offspring from the same donor number.
Thank God to learn this.
God. The
My
documentaries
gosh.
about how
Can you
things go.
imagine like, your child growing up and having like a bazillion siblings from
I
one
know.
donor? Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
There's like a Netflix special about that doctor that did that.
Yeah,
Oh my God. I can
there's
only
also just a
imagine.
random guy in the Netherlands that did that too.
Oh my gosh. People are
Psychotic.
nuts.
I know. So I checked out, went to the doctor that week. It was March 8th, 2020 was a Saturday. I went in. They were like, "Boop, that's it."
Wow.
March 10th, the world shut down.
Whoo,
And
girl.
I know. So I went to my brother's house down in Asbury with a few people. And the doctor's like, okay, they're at Columbia University in the city and New York City. And she was like, come on in for the blood work. And I'm like, I am not going anywhere near the city. And yeah, eventually she kept saying, well, take a home pregnancy test. And I'm like, I'm not sending my brother, who's the only one leaving the house, to get me a pregnancy test. So eventually I did get a pregnancy test and it was pregnant. And I could not believe, I was
First try, girl.
40 years
That's
old.
amazing.
And it worked. And then meanwhile, I'm living in this house with like 5 people who are drinking because it's the beginning of the pandemic. And like, what else do you do except drink and watch the world end? And
And
doing
did
things like
anyone else know that you were on this journey or did you?
that's a good question. My mom knew. My mom's the only one that really knew. My brother, like, and some friends, they would like help me pick out the donor. I'm like, which is a cuter baby, all the fun stuff. But only my mom knew that I was doing it right then. In fact,
Okay.
everyone still thought I had a boyfriend.
Okay.
So
Well,
when
you
I
can still
told,
have a boyfriend and do the donor thing. I mean,
that's true.
I think
It's a
there's a
rom
movie
com.
about that too.
It's a rom com. But yeah, so no one knew that I was doing that except my mom. And when they were eating smoked salmon and like drinking coffee that like made me want to gag. They were like, "Oh my God, you're pregnant, aren't you?" And I was like, I
Mhm.
can neither confirm nor deny that because I didn't want to tell anyone until like
Right.
12 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got pregnant first time in the middle of COVID, and it was magical. Like in this period where like everyone was, there's still the world is a crazy place, but I just was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a mom."
Like you got to really just take it in.
Yeah,
And you weren't expected to do as much.
yeah,
I mean, you don't have to go to all the things and do all the things. There's an excuse. Like you can
yeah.
use that excuse for everything, being pregnant. So that is such a cool story and such a fun way to become a mom. And now he's 4.
He's 4. He'll be 5 next month. It's
That
like
is such a great age.
he's the
That
cutest
is
thing in
such
the
a great
world.
age. And it says that you are a cook, a cleaner, bedtime storyteller, all the things. So you're doing all of them as well as your corporate day job.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a lot on your plate, mama. That
I
is a
do.
lot going on. So when do you have time to learn and do the travel advisor thing if you're working during the day and being a mom at night without a partner?
It's funny. People are sometimes like, "You're so brave," or "How do you do it?" And I'm like, "But this is my life. I didn't have a partner and don't have one. So I
Right.
make the hours in the day work for me. Like it just works. We have our routine. I do wake up early and like I woke up this morning early. I am on a different time zone still, but like I woke up this early and was planning an Egypt trip before my son woke up. And I am productive during the day. I also have a job during the day that's like very flexible. During the day, I do
Mhm.
work at a corporate travel agency. And so I've got planning on my mind and I'm in the systems and I'll do something for work and I'll do something for myself. So I'm lucky in that sense. But before I became a travel agent, I worked in fashion and I commuted into the city and that did not work for me. Like I had a
Right.
nanny, I did the commuting thing and my soul was just empty. And it had to come to an end at some point. So this works for me. And I'm super grateful that I can juggle all the things. Like, probably not eating as healthy as we can be. I like, you
Girl, I
fall.
just had mac and cheese for breakfast.
Yeah,
Like, this is where we're
beautiful.
at right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
leftovers from dinner
Yeah.
because that's
But
that's
they
all I
ate.
have in my
They
house.
ate. Yeah. You
Yeah.
did a great job. Your child ate.
Yay! I did it. I was like, I'm gonna be on with Elena for a couple hours, so I don't wanna get hungry and, like, cranky right in the middle.
You had mac and cheese for
Yes,
breakfast.
I had mac and cheese.
I
I
had a
did.
piece of tortellini for breakfast.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. No, the kids, they eat bagels on their way out the door. Sometimes
Yeah.
they have chips in the car. Like, no, we are not, we need to do better. Sometimes a banana, I feel like that's
Yeah.
successful, but no, they get up just in time to either, now my son is driving. So he drives himself. So he is getting up at the very last possible second before he has to leave for school. And then my son or my daughter rides, my husband takes her in the mornings, but it's round trip for him almost 2 hours. And so she's in the car for an hour before she gets to school. And I'm less like, you have to take something on the road with you. And of course,
Yeah.
they leave like on a certain time. And she's always last minute too now. She like needs the full 45 minutes to get ready for school.
Wow.
But they do all that, and I usually just chill in bed in the mornings because I do the afternoon routine.
Got it.
So, I'm done working by 1:30 every day because I have to go do her car line.
That's beautiful.
So, it's just the same, like, the same but different, like, depending
Yeah.
on if you have that to share with somebody else, but not commuting, I'm sure, is amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, I do commute like 20 minutes to an office 3 times a week. But, my mom also lives nearby. She moved up
Yeah.
here to be close to me. I have a village. I've got, really close neighbors that have kids that feel like a family. So you kind of create your own
Yep.
family in a way.
You absolutely have to, and I think that that goes for any mom because not everybody has the same level of support even if they have a partner. I mean,
It's true.
I'm very lucky because my husband is flexible and willing to help me, but sometimes he just can't because he travels for work. So sometimes I do the morning routine and the afternoon routine, and I think that's the biggest thing with being a travel advisor that we all are attracted to is just the flexibility, but it can absolutely get out of hand, as we all know. And I know you've had those situations too with crazy friends who want to do things and take advantage of your time. So, how are you managing through those scenarios when somebody's super demanding of your time?
When I first started, I felt just wanting to say yes to everyone and everything. Like I wanted to get some sales under my belt. So it was like, texted 8:30 p.m. Hey, I'm thinking about this. Texting them right back. Yes, let me research that and get back to you. It never worked. When there was no process and they were running the show, I was just chasing behind them, trying to make things work. And I did have an inquiry for a friend who had an idea for a trip, researched the heck out of that. And then she was like, actually, I think we'd like to do this. So we pivoted. I replanned it an entirely different trip. And at the end, I mean, I'm talking like at least 14 hours spent doing all of this.
Yeah. I mean, it takes so much time to do one trip and then pivot. I mean, it's like, okay, we're not pivoting one tour, we're pivoting an entire vacation.
Yeah. And I wasn't charging fees at the time. And I wanted to help my friend and all of this stuff. And at the end, she was like, you know what? I feel like I don't really know what I want. I think we're going to skip the vacation this year. And she
Whoa.
did. And I took it really personally. And
Wait, she went on the trip?
no, she did not go on a
She
trip.
did not go on the
She
trip.
did not go on
Okay.
a trip. But she said, I'm overwhelmed. Like, I don't even know what I want to do anymore. I keep changing my mind. So a couple of things. Like, I was hurt for a day, talked to my mom, and she's like, listen, she doesn't know how much work you put into it. She doesn't know how easy this is for you or how difficult it is. You got to learn about Alaska. In fact, there's a place that I'm dying to send to someone in BC when I get the chance. Like, I got to learn about Alaska. I got to follow up with my friend and say, like, hey, I'm creating my website but the process will be on there. When you're ready to work with me, I'm here. And she just reached out to me. She wants to book a trip to St. Bart's for her birthday.
Okay.
So I'm like, perfect.
So she
Here's my
got
money.
a good experience from you. I know it's so hard not to take things personally. We talk about this so much in Maximize of just like realizing that people are super uneducated about the time we spend, but also every decision that they're making, 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. You know, she got overwhelmed. She was probably looking at her calendar. She was like, do I really want to go to a cold destination or whatever
Yeah.
these things are? The money comes into play. But I think the biggest thing to take away from when we are not chosen in that moment is it's very rarely about us. It has
Yeah.
everything to do with them, and we're not with them for every decision. So it's like we just have to, as I say, release the outcome. And I know that's a really hard part of our job, but I'm glad she came back. And I want to know, like, you're like, I have this process on my website, but like, have you set up an appointment with her yet?
Yes, I sent her the link. Like,
Yes.
sweet. Like, and I will, even with an intake, and I do have like a small intake form.
Yeah,
It's just like, here, what are we doing? But like, it's going to be a call. It's
absolutely.
going to be a video call. I want to see her face. I want to catch up. But like, I want to know when I mention something, like what her eyes look like when I mention this
Yes.
hotel or when she tells me what kind of hotel she stays at. Like, I want to be able, I don't know. I just want to be able to read the language with her. So yeah, I'm excited. St. Bart's.
St. Bart's is going to be so fun to plan. And if you have not worked with Ultimate Jet Vacations, you should look into them because
I'm going to talk
they
to you about
are
those.
fabulous for those five-star luxury experiences like in St. Bart's. They can do
Yes.
everything for you too.
Okay.
They will make your
Just
life so easy.
do you know Wendy from Ultimate Jet Vacations?
No, I don't know Wendy.
She was at Ultimate Jet Vacations. She went to Shaw Wellness for a while, and I've been planning a
Okay.
retreat with her, and now she's going back to Ultimate. So now I've got, like, a person.
Good,
I love her,
good.
so I'm very excited
Yes,
to meet
if
them
you
again.
need another, like, I use Ruby. I don't use
Okay.
her. I hire her, and she's fantastic for the Caribbean as well, and I just started working with a Christina for my Europe stuff, and it's been going really, really well, so I really love them, and they just treat our clients with such deep respect, and it's fabulous, fabulous,
Can't
so
wait.
that's very exciting. She's gonna have an awesome St. Bart's trip, and I know that you have come from the fashion industry. What did you do in the fashion industry that's helping you become a better travel advisor?
Okay, another 90-minute segment. But I was in, fashion sourcing and development on the design side for
So cool.
for I guess it was, like, probably 18 years. And
Wow.
it's something that I've always done. And really what that means is, I held a few roles on that side, but I worked in handbags and shoes. So when a designer would like sketch something out, I would find the materials, I would find the factory, I would work on the timeline, the cost to get it made. And most of our development is done in Asia or in Europe. So over that experience, I would go to different countries to find factories that would like mesh with our quality and our scalability, make sure that they were like paying more than minimum wage, the fair living, that they respected sustainability, that they,
Wow, that's
would
awesome.
we would do like audits with them, so social and environmental audits. So I would go explore different countries to find out who would be best in class for making our products. And then I would travel with the design team to check in on development and
Mhm.
production. So I've been to those places. Like I've been to China like 15 times.
Wow.
Since being a travel advisor, I'm like, I don't really need to go back anymore. And taking founders and designers with me who have like very high standards and having to pick the hotels with them and go on those trips with them, having to
Mhm.
be in a car in China with everyone, 6 people in the car going, okay, what time is breakfast? When does the car leave? How long will it be to get to the factory? When do
Right.
like, just knowing what anyone who's going to be in a foreign place or just didn't look at the agenda or itinerary beforehand, like what they're going to want to know.
Because no one reads anything we send.
Yeah, no, that's what I love.
Which
Like,
also means if
yeah,
you were the person planning these big ass corporate trips, like they're like, Elena, tell me where I have to be every
yeah.
minute of the day.
And even like now you have clients and I'm like, it's in your Travify, but it's okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here. Or there'll be like a DMC that can help them out while they're there. But so just like I think having a respect for budget is really something that I understand like takes me out of like shopping out of my own because it's
Mhm.
at someone else's wallet. Um, Managing time and
Yes.
understanding pace of things. And when someone's like, I want to go to 4 towns in Italy and I've got 10 days, and I'm like, No, you don't.
No,
D
you don't have 10 days. Exactly. I
Yeah,
love that, the pace of things.
the
That
pace of
is
things.
so important for us to understand.
Yeah, and then I think just, like, picking places, like, I have a certain design aesthetic and sensibility, and not everyone has the same one, but making sure that I don't send my clients to places that, like, I'm gonna have to deal with getting a phone call on. Like, I'm just not gonna book a three-star hotel, even if it's not an aligned client for me, really, because
Mhm.
that might be your budget, but, like, what if yeah, I mean, there's just so many
We're
things that could
too
go wrong.
connected. We're just too connected to
Yeah,
that recommendation, even if we wouldn't stay there and they're just demanding that, if we can't stand on our 2 feet with it, like, I'm the same way. It's
it's
so
so
difficult. It's
risky.
like, I don't wanna be affiliated with any part of having a bad vacation.
Yeah.
So, that quality level of just understanding all that, but also just partnering with Asian companies that also are just within fashion. I also worked in fashion. I was a salesperson for a fashion designer, and they did the same thing. They had this whole sourcing situation and were traveling and making sure everybody was being treated ethically. And I think that can relate to travel so well and just
Yeah.
blending those two worlds for you. That's incredible.
It does. There's when I think about sustainable travel, it's like it's a buzzword and a lot of clients or prospects they're not looking for a sustainable trip. That's not like what they're looking for. They're looking for an
Mhm.
amazing trip. But if there are pieces that factor in what like the 4 C's are, some people say it's 3 C's, but it's culture, community, commerce, and conservation. Like if I
Mhm.
can weave some of those things in, then that's great. And I actually personally plant a tree for every traveler.
Oh, you do? What a
Yeah.
cool thing.
So
Is
they
that
don't
on
have
your
to
website?
yes, it is on my website.
Okay,
If you
good.
go
I
live
was like,
if you
how
go
that was not in the forms. I love that.
it is on the forums. Well, my website did just go live, like, a month ago. Yeah. So I do
Very
that,
cool.
and it's a way that I just think it's, like, doing our part, and it's not terribly expensive, and people like to feel like they're doing good, but they're not gonna compromise on quality or, comfort or think their money's going to be spent on that instead of
Mhm.
their actual trip.
Absolutely. And I do think it is a buzzword, but there is one thing to have it as a buzzword, and there's another thing to have a full definition of what that means to you and your business. And I think that will really make you stand out, Elena, that you have had so much experience. And I always tell people it doesn't really matter what you did before you're a travel advisor because you're bringing a skill set to this industry that it probably needs. And understanding those things is going to be so dynamic for you moving forward. I think it's fantastic. So
Yeah.
that is awesome. Do you miss fashion?
No, not at all.
We do not miss the commute or the corporate.
You do not miss the constant feeling like you need something new. It was, like, very
Mhm.
materialistic. "Oh, what's this season's new shoe?" Like, my designers are wearing Row and, all these things, and it's like, I don't need new things. I'm very happy. I'd rather spend my money on experiences now. And there's also, like, something that's very different that I just didn't know until I came into travel is in fashion, my experience is there is information gatekeeping.
Yes.
There are only so many spaces at the top. There's a certain way that people act and dress and push other people down that I just thought was the norm. I thought that was life. It's the only world I knew. And when
Mhm.
I came over to this side, I'm like, wait, you're sharing this information with me? I just started. I can't do anything for you. And like, it is so lovely. And I make so many better connections with people now than I ever did. I mean, of course, I have my like work wives and husbands from every company that I've worked at, but like,
Mhm.
it's just I wish I made this shift 20 years ago. Like, I would have been so good good at this, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm here
It
now.
does. It
Just yeah.
does. And, like I said, I feel like you're gonna bring so much of that over, and you're probably going to be so much more giving in this industry and sharing, and you already have been. You're here, you're sharing your story, and I think it's really important. There's a lot of gatekeeping in travel as well. You just got really lucky that you found somebody who doesn't do that, but also just really I know that you're the person that you partnered with within your host, that she's a super giver and just you did fall into a situation, really, in my opinion, that allowed for that all to look that way. But so much of this we're learning as we go now because for some reason, everybody wants to keep secrets from each other on some side of it, And I think we see that most in like the social media piece of it. It just can get
Okay, yeah.
real crazy out there. But But it's not always been this way. That's the reason I was like, we have got to start sharing information, especially during COVID. There was a lot of misinformation being shared, but also just this like judgment amongst our community. And I was like,
Right.
guys, everybody gets to make the decision for themselves. And whatever works for one person may not work for another. And that's really when I started getting really loud on the internet because it was like, why are we keeping some of this secret? And why are you not willing to help someone who's brand new or who started in 2019 and then this happened? I mean, like COVID was so crazy, but I think since then, the newer agent has, in my opinion, is such a blessing to our communities because you guys have this fresh face on the world that we are still like jaded. And I'm like, no, I love talking to new advisors because they're so excited and it brings me back to being like, why do I love this job? And it's just like, it's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to share what we learn and know. And there's no reason to keep it a secret. Seriously. I mean, it just makes no sense, but you will have something to offer. I mean, you already do, but I think that's, 18 years of experience anywhere, you have something to share with all of us. So I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, let's pause for a quick break. I know you want to be the best travel advisor that you can be. And if you're tired of being one and done booking engine and ready to build a business rooted in loyalty and referrals and providing the best white glove concierge care, From Close to Home is the course for you. You will develop a workflow that keeps you in control of your time and service the hell out of your reservations after the deposit is placed. You'll never miss a final payment again. You'll continue to connect with your clients between the deposit and their descent home. You will master that post-booking client care in ways you never thought imaginable. Learn how to VIP your clients that allows them to feel so special without breaking the bank of your business. You will sell more insurance, you will upsell them throughout the experience, build those relationships, all while setting boundaries. There is no 24/7 here. You'll learn to manage hiccups like a pro, and you'll have the confidence to follow up with them after they return and encourage them to rebook for next year. Stop chasing new leads and start creating raving, loyal fans who never want to travel without you and refer you to everyone they know. Head to my website to grab From Close to Home. And don't forget to check the show notes for an exclusive coupon code. Okay, now back to the pod. That's fantastic. So I know you charge fees and you're new. How does that feel for you? I know a lot of newer agents don't feel confident in this arena because they don't think that they have anything to offer. So why should they be free? Why shouldn't they be free?
I mean, I just say that's just the way it is. That's the barrier for entry if you want to work with me. And if you don't, then we're not aligned and then we're not going to waste anyone's time. You don't have to waste mine. I don't have to waste yours. And it feels fine. It's a decision that I made pretty early on because of you.
I'm so glad.
And, my time has value
It does.
and I put so much love into it too. So I'm not just researching. Like, I'm going to make you a beautiful proposal and you're going to want to feel like you're on that trip. And I'm going to make you a playlist before you go. That's like fresh beats of Egypt. Like, I'm going to put so much love into this and I want you to feel that. And at the end of the day, you are not going to hesitate that you paid. And I actually saw like a little, can't tell you who it was, but it's some Instagram post where it was not a travel advisor. And she said, you guys, I just found out there's such thing as a travel advisor. And they did X, Y, and Z, and it cost me $600. And you know what? I would have
I've seen that Instagram.
dollars worth of mistakes if I hadn't done this. So it was totally worth it for me. So like, I just, I'm trying to like fine tune what I say to people when they're like, when they want you to price match or, explaining how it works. And it's also maybe not fine tuning, but it's like, there are different types of ears. There are different types of people. And like, okay, this person is my mom's friend and they X, Y, and Z. So I'm like tailoring what I say to them about how it works. But like, I'm not a booking agent. I'm going to find you the property that matches the best for you, where I know you're going to have a great time. I'm going to reach out to the manager or the DMC or the anyone that I have a contact with to make it special for you. And I'm going to make sure it's special. I'm going to follow up with you. Like it's so much more than just booking.
Mhm.
I just decided, like, I made a decision in my head. It's fine with me. I'm not going to second guess it.
I think it's special that you're a doer. There's a lot of people that spend just so much time overthinking. What do I say? How do I present? And there's something just what Elena is saying, you guys, is basically just so straightforward, but also just she's tailoring it to the person she's talking to as well without hesitation. It's all in the delivery. And I also think in the belief that our time is valuable, like the true belief, because it is. She's got a million other things going on. And if somebody's just going to drain her energy, there's really no reason to spend time with that person, even if they pay sometimes I'm like, okay, paying doesn't also mean you get to drain my energy. So
Yeah.
continuing to hold boundaries through the whole experience is super, super important. But because it does sometimes take 14 hours to research. Like I think they said the average person who uses Google to plan their vacation spends 30 hours of their own time
Yeah.
planning it.
I believe it.
Imagine being able to cut some of that down using, hiring an expert.
Yeah.
And I did see that video where she said, I only had to pay $600. And I know I would have made $600 worth of mistakes on my own trip. And I think that's such a great way to look at it because even I make mistakes on my own trips because
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention to the details like I do with my
We're
clients.
our own worst clients. Yeah.
I always tell people the story where we got to the airport and I had misspelled Eric's name. He couldn't check into the hotel or the airline and we didn't know why. And we get there and it's like I forgot a letter or I
Right.
mistyped it or whatever. And he's like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "It's fine. It's so easy to fix when we check in. Don't worry about."
My gosh.
But it's
Great,
like
great.
things like this happen. So imagine if that would have cost a couple $100 to fix. By the way, it didn't. It was one letter, thank goodness. So
Oh
they easily reticketed it for you.
my
But
gosh.
these things happen to the everyday person. So I think it goes to show too that when you do care about something and you invest in it, that it just feels so mutual on both sides too. Like
Yeah.
we're in this together now that
Yeah.
there's a little bit of money involved. So what do you start your fees at? Good for you. It might be
250.
time to raise them up for
I
2026.
know. I know. My agency recommends 500. But
Good.
because I'm new, I'm like, let me start at 250 just so it's something. And once the people pay 250, not a lot in the big scheme of things, like they're committed, they're less likely to like flake out. So I've had better success. Just I haven't had anyone pay the fee and not like follow through. So that's a good sign.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome. I mean, it does happen, but then I'm always like, "Hey, that wasn't the most perfect match." Like I was helping a friend, a very good friend, a regular client. I charged her $500. I put together this beautiful proposal. It was for Paris, and I think it was for Paris and London, and they just really, really wanted to do an Airbnb instead. And I just couldn't get on board, and she understood, and she was like, we can either do parts of it together. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you just take the itinerary? You paid for it and you guys can put all that together. And she did. She had a great time. We texted while she was there and we're still friends because,
Yes.
my time wasn't wasted putting that's what she paid for. So I think too, just if it happens, understanding that again, it's not personal. It's just what she wanted specifically was not something I offered. If you're
Yeah.
not a travel advisor and you're listening to this, like travel advisors can't work with Airbnb. Like it's in their terms and conditions that we can't book them. I think it's important too to just continue that education. And she's like, no, I totally get it. Like once she realized, I just really want this kitchen, and she really had found something she fell in love with. So I think it had nothing to do with me. It wasn't
Yeah.
any, it's just part of it. So if it does happen and you get paid, at least you didn't, spend even more time on something that you weren't going to get paid to do. I
Yeah.
think that
This
is
this just
awesome.
made me think of something, and maybe it's like a free
Yeah,
things
no,
down
let's
the
talk.
road in conversation. So my the owner of my agency, we have a small agency. It's only 12 people. She's amazing. she gave me ideas for when I was, just getting started. She's like, I recommend starting at 500. We pay 500 or we charge 500, but like if you want to do 250, that's fine. Another thing she said we could do, not around charging, but to draw business to you she has a document, legally binding document drafted by lawyers where you can switch out the names, but create like referral systems. So if you refer someone to me, you will have X% of my commission in perpetuity, like forever for the life of this client, which has been something that I actually haven't done yet, but it's like for the right client, that would be a great way to like tie us together more long term. Not to do with fees, but it just got me thinking about money there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting how people have created those systems and processes within their own industry, in their own businesses. And we don't hear or talk about money enough to like fully understand that there's so many options for business models in this industry and how
Yeah.
we choose to work with specific clients. And the other thing is, a lot of people ask me like, well, what's your minimum spend? And it's like, well, it depends on the kind of trip, because obviously a Caribbean vacation at an all-inclusive is going to have a very different minimum spend than 12 days in Europe, And so it really comes down to just understanding how much things cost and how much money I'm making per booking. Like, what do I want to make on a 5-night all-inclusive versus a 12-night European vacation? They're very different, and how they're planned is different. The time investment is different, but it's just really understanding all the facets and how to make a certain amount of money per booking. It's just,
Right.
what does that look like for you as an individual agent as well?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so what is your number one motivator for being a travel advisor?
Number one,
Like, what
creating
gets you
beautiful,
up in the morning to do this job?
honestly, like creating beautiful things for people, creating life experiences for people. Honestly, that's really what it is. Like people, it's just like a designer. They have an idea in their head of something that they want to create. And I get to bring it to life. Like that is so creative. That is so rewarding and giving back. I'm using a skill set that I have. I get to connect with community. I get to learn new things. Like, yes, there's money at the end of it, but like making something beautiful happen for someone is the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning, which is also
Right.
why I think it's hard for me when like they don't follow through with the proposal. And I'm like, I don't get angry. I might get hurt, but I'm like, you're not going to have as beautiful a time as you would booking with me, Like,
Right.
so
Absolutely. You're like, I know this is your vision.
yeah, and I'll write to them like, "You're going to have an amazing time," the Marcie, like, the write-off, but, like, I just love making beautiful things happen for people.
I
You
love that too, and I love when they come back and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah," and they just wanna tell you all about it, and they wanna, like, share photos, and it's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, but can you also then put that in my private group? That'd be great. I need more people to see this." Yeah, I think that is so special, and that's really what it comes down to when I talk about having fun and really understanding your why, is like, what is going to get you out of bed every day to do this job? And doesn't always have to be money, it's just that also being paid for that is excellent, and we all deserve that. So I think it's been really just enlightening too, just seeing the journey of like all the decisions you kind of have made in your whole life to get here, and then just to have that freedom to make those like continue to make those choices. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. So I'm so excited for you, and I'm like loving all of the things. So what is your specialty? Like, if you like, what's your perfect aligned client look like?
That is a tricky question to answer because I feel like I'm still figuring it out. Like, the universe has been dropping breadcrumbs for me, and I am just following them. Like, I don't know where it's gonna lead, but I'm on this journey. So, like, really, I started out with a couple different clients, either like designers that I had worked with that just like wanna go on vacation with their, friends or their partners or their families. But that's like one kind of clientele. I'm gonna book them wherever they like wanna go. They wanna go somewhere different that's like no one else is going to. Like, they're gonna go to Malta. They're not gonna go to Croatia. Like, just like, what's the next thing? And then a bigger part of my clientele are like families that want vacations. And so they'll reach out to me with like a last minute booking for X, Y, or Z, like summer booking. And I'm like, this is great. You're paying too much. You're not getting the right rooms. Like, why don't we look to the future? Like, yes, let's book this summer trip, but like also let's look at the next couple of years. And like, I have an offering called the 18 Summers Portfolio. So like I charge a fee. I charge $2,500. I will plan your family's first trip. And then we'll map out a certain amount of years. Like, when do you want your children to be immersed in arts and culture? What about nature? What about going back to like your legacy homeland if you're from Italy, Italian? Like, so we'll look at things, or Disney, like, when do you go small? When do you go big? And we kind of like look out, and I'll give them this like kind of memory map. We can set up like family portraits abroad, things like that. So we'll do that. That means I'm not always planning an all inclusive. It means I'm
Mhm.
sending them to different parts of the world, and I'm still learning, and I might not be perfect at that, but like, that is a huge part of it. But what I found, and this is more where where I'm leaning now niche wise, is that when I send any family on away, they've been wanting something for the parents big time. It's got to
Mhm.
be the kids club. It's got to be immersed. Can the mom go to a spa? Like, sending a family to Enchantment in Arizona is perfect because the kids will be watched and the mom can go to Miamo down, right across the street and get a
Mhm.
spa. Like, it's covering this wellness. Like, we don't always just want to go away with our kids to like give them an experience. Like, yes, we want to raise a global citizen, but like, what's in it for us too? We've worked hard. We need a break. We don't want to come back from vacation like needing another break. So it's this wellness aspect. So I have been somehow just like falling into the wellness, whether it was planning for families to go away, or like I went to Virtuoso Travel Week and did the wellness circuit and like really bonded with these people,
Good.
all of like Shaw Wellness or Paul Maya. And now I'm like creating some retreats with them next year because in my local
Awesome.
community, like I hosted a booth at a wellness event, met a bunch of people that like want to go away. And I'm like, let's make this happen. So I'm just kind of, and it interests me immensely, wellness.
Mhm.
So it's such a big word. There's so many different types of wellness.
Right, and I know you do a lot of yoga and meditation, so it fits your personality as well.
Yeah, it feels right. And, I'm still learning a lot, but like, how can I continue to offer wellness for even the children, right? But like, wellness when we think about like yoga, meditation, cenotes, like sound baths and all of that
Mhm.
for longevity, and like, and kids too, or, finding care for them. So wellness, I think, is like my main jam right now. I just got back from Ananda Spa in the Himalayas, which is in India, and did a week long, I guess it's a fam. There were like 5 of us. It was an Ayurvedic
It
rejuvenation.
sounds incredible.
It was like truly transformative.
Wow.
Highly recommend to anyone.
And how did you get connected to that fam?
Good question. So I went to Virtuoso Travel Week by myself. I was the only representative from my agency, and it's an insane week in
It
Vegas.
really is insane. I've heard this. I've never been to Virtuoso Travel Week, but I've definitely seen a lot of stuff online about it, so
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've been to like other kind of
I've been
travel.
to other conferences for
So
sure. It's very just intense, lots of meetings.
yeah,
It's like speed dating through DMCs basically and
it
like
is.
high level connections.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a lot, but so worth it. If anyone's listening has an opportunity to go, go. Go if you're going by yourself. Go
And
if you
stay
can.
focused. Stay
Stay focused.
focused
Oh wow.
because don't use it as just a socializing like, I think that's my number one thing is, like, I don't need to go get drinks. I have, like, 14 meetings. Like, focus on what you need while you're there. You don't have to do everything either. You can
No,
pick and
say no.
choose.
Don't go to
Yeah.
what you don't want to go to. I was on a wellness track, so I went to a lot of suites and got like IVs and oxygen bars. So it was like it helped.
So cool.
But during that week, we had back home in the US, we had a call with Hidden Doorways, which is a representative of some hotels. And I was going to miss that call. So I wrote to the woman who's the owner and just said, hey, I know you're going to Virtuoso Travel Week. I'm missing the session that's being held in the US. Would you like to meet for coffee? And she's like, absolutely. So I met the owner. We sat down and had coffee, talked for, half an hour. And she was like, I need you to meet someone on my team that is a wellness specialist. And this guy has been in the game for like over 40 years.
Wow.
He was in Las Vegas from Palm Springs for like 4 hours. He did a training with Skylark, and then he met with me. And in our conversation,
How cool.
it was
Like,
amazing.
connection to connection from one email. From
Yeah,
one
this is from one
email.
email. This is what I'm talking about, breadcrumbs. So I sat down with him at a bar and I'm like, would you like a glass of wine? Because that's what I was having. And he's like, no, I'm wellness. I'll have some water. And I'm like,
Like, "Wait, I thought it was made of grapes." No, I'm just kidding.
we're in Vegas. So we had a conversation for however long, an hour, and he invited me in right then and there. He's like,
Wow.
we were having a conversation. I'm like, which is like, what's your favorite wellness and retreat? And he said, well, the most transformative one is Ananda, and I'm going there in a few weeks. Would you like to come? And I'm like, and I grappled with it a lot. I mean, it's
Because it's time
time
away from your
away.
son, and you're a single mom.
And it's like, 24 hours to get there each way. So I grappled with it and sat with it. I'm like, you know what? This is a good return on my investment. Like, it is a good, return on investment could be like time or money. And this is fam, but you still have to pay for, you've got to leave your tips for everyone. You've got to pay for your Uber and, your flights. So I decided it was a good ROI and I just couldn't push it down. Like my mom's like, you just left. You were just in Vegas. You're not going to leave him again. And I was like, but I am.
And he'll be okay. And he
And
was.
he was great. He was great. You just have to bring him a toy home from any trip and he is happy.
Yes.
So yeah, so
And
that's
it's
how I
good. Elena, the best thing I could have ever done as a early there's a lot of regrets. I have a lot of regrets for being a workaholic when my kids were super, super little. But one thing I do not regret and have never regretted is leaving them for X amount of time very early in their lives, just because it's good to spend time with your family, other people besides the two people who are raising you or the one person who's raising you. And then also they have this independence now. It has paid off in dividends of like my son travels to see my family every year now by himself. Like we're planning trips for the future and we're splitting them up. Like Eric takes Max somewhere, I take Jude. We don't always have to be together. Like we all have different interests, so like things that they've taken away from the trips we've taken them on. And they've known how to clear security since they were 2 years old. Like this is a skill they need in life. So trust me, you're doing okay. Don't feel bad.
I'm gonna have to. I mean, he's yeah,
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I truly believe that I did not mess that part up.
That's good. I'll miss something else out, I'm sure. Yeah, it's good. I feel fine having left, and it was it really was a transformative experience. And I went and I'm like, okay, who do I know? Or when I meet someone, who's going to match this property perfectly? Like, it's not for everyone. You eat Ayurvedic food for 7 days, but they like make every meal just for you. Like it is special. It is very special. And I had probably 10 massages in the week. Like you meet with a doctor, an Ayurvedic doctor. He's like, this is your dosha. He'll look at your tongue and feel your pulse with his fingers. And he's like, you have a headache right now and you're hungry. I'm like, yes. How did you know? It's magic. And then he's like, I'm prescribing you one head rub, one foot rub, one facial. Like you have treatments a day. It's, you do yoga and meditation every
I'm
morning.
ready. I'm ready to go.
It was
like, I actually do have a headache right now. I always have a tension headache. It's just like getting old.
Yes, the tension
I
headache.
know. It's
Yeah.
because we don't relax enough. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real.
We have some exercises for you.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to like bring what works in my life. And there's, an hour-long routine that we have there. I'm not going to be able to do that back here, but I'm going to take a couple of things that work for me. Yeah, I saw that
And then be able
property.
to pass that on to your clients. Or if you do meet someone, it's like you now can qualify that person for that exact experience. And the more wellness experiences you have, the more you're going to be able to really start to niche down into
Yeah.
and just become known, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a really cool experience.
And I
So,
went with travel agents that like have been in the game. I mean, there was an 85-year-old woman in my fam.
wow.
She was
Wow.
amazing. So these people, like you talk about agents that were around before, the
All the
pandemic,
things.
before 9/11, they were around when you were like flying tickets to someone to get them
She
overnighted
was
on
clearly
time.
around before my parents were even married
Yes.
and doing all the things. Like,
Yeah, so like
like,
I learned so much from them
and
too.
I have concerns about this, but like, I'm also not going to judge an 85-year-old woman. She can do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah. It was
That is
yeah, so you learn so much on these BAMs, and for every experience, I just try and take the bits of knowledge, from everywhere.
absolutely. I think that is really cool. So when you guys were there, was there like meditation and different things like that? Or was it just like, this is your schedule and this is what you're doing?
It's great, and it's also for anyone listening that wants to do a retreat, it is an amazing place for a retreat because you go together, but when you see a doctor, it's like really personalized for you. So you have there's an intensive and a comprehensive program, so you have between 3 and 4 appointments per day. There's a four-handed massage that is the most amazing thing in the world, and then you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So many people are like eating by themselves. So many people are there by themselves, but every day they give you choices. Like you can go on a safari. You can go whitewater rafting, which I was not doing without a cholera shot. You can go to Rishikesh, which is the birthplace of yoga, which is, 20 minutes away, and do this like ceremony in the Ganges. But every day there's meditation and yoga. There's fitness. There are Vedanta talks. So it's like, how to be a good human being kind of lessons, sound bath healing, which is insane there. They just have all these things. And it's like, go to what you want to, don't go to what you don't want to.
Very cool.
Yeah. But if you did take a retreat there for anyone that's interested, it's like, you don't really need to do much. You're like, hey, gang, let's go.
Hmm.
Everyone go to your appointments and we can meet at mealtime. So it's a very
Fantastic.
special place.
It's a
Yeah.
really nice balance too, especially if you're with people you don't know very well, but you like get that connection time and then you get your own individual time. That's super important, in my opinion, for all group trips.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like we overdo it, like with the scheduling and the itinerary and being together. And I actually leave on Saturday for 19 days. I'll be
Wow.
gone. I'm doing Italy with my husband, then I'm going on my group trip, but we have 3 full days of nothing planned. Like in Italy, in Tuscany, bring
Sounds
your favorite
heavenly.
book. Like we're at this villa, 800 acres of wine, grape vines and olive trees. It's like enjoy yourself, like
Yeah.
slow down, like live la dolce vita kind of thing.
Make your own magic.
Yes, yes. We just booked the massage therapist to come out 2 days so that they can make appointments with her. Like, it's so important to slow down and just, like, invest in yourself, like, take that time. So I think that is so special. And I know you do a lot of manifesting, and it's
Yeah.
in your form that you, like, talk about how it's work to manifest. So I wanna hear a little bit more about this because as someone who is just learning to manifest and starting that journey, like, I really appreciate what you say about you can't sit around waiting for abundance to find you.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much work that, that I've done. I mean, I follow like Reagan Hillier, and I did a manifestation course with her on Mind Ballet. She is pretty great. I do meditations with Jeremy Allen, Joe Dispenza. Like, I will listen to falling asleep at night. I will listen to like nighttime sleeping manifestations and things
Mhm.
around abundance or money or self worth or, and just hammer it in all night long.
I
But
think that's smart though. I mean,
it,
if you're
it
looking
works
for
for me.
something to happen, you have to invest in understanding it and learning about it.
Yeah. I think like in one way you don't want life to just happen to you, but you also have to like what I've learned is that like just think about a result that you want. Like just be like, I would like to be a successful travel agent. You don't have to put like specifics into it. Cause in my head, I will go through specifics. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna book 2 trips to Ananda because I just went there. Da, 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 da. You gotta release that stuff. Just put out to the universe, be calm, clear space in your head. Say
Mhm.
like, this is what I want, and I'm gonna let the universe figure it out. Haha, universe, let's see how you work this out. Like just being calm about it. Do I have everything figured out now? Like, I'm not rich, but I'm happy. And like, I'm just gonna like, it's exciting. I'm so lucky to be alive and I'm gonna like wait to see how it unfolds. So, like, I don't know, just manifesting can work in a lot of different ways, but they all kind of say the same thing. Like, you've got to
Mhm.
get into the energy, focus on it, and then like kind of let it go. We can talk more about that later too, but I love
Absolutely.
manifesting stuff. Sometimes I'll just be like, all right, God, show me a sign. And then like, I'll be like a little bit more specific. I'm like, show me how some money can come into my life. And like, I'll get a check from Rakuten for like $1.28,
We
whatever it is.
literally talked about this on Miranda's pod last week. We're like, thank every penny. And one of the examples I gave was a $5 check from
Yeah.
Rakuten. I was like, my husband's like, what is even this check? And I was like, it doesn't matter. We have to be so appreciative of
Yeah.
every single penny that comes in that we
Yeah.
didn't expect to get.
Say thank you, Penny. And like, drink your water and tell you like water holds memory. I'm woo. I'm definitely woo woo. But like water holds memories. Drink your water and be like, I love you. And
I
then that
do
I
a
love you
lot of
flows through your body.
manifestation with water. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of moon stuff that I do with water and even just like floating, like I will write something down on a strip of paper and let it float in the water and just I believe also some of my best ideas have come just like floating in the ocean or being in the shower or I find even though I'm a Leo and I'm a fire sign, I'm all about my water moments. And I do actually also feel like it's just kind of putting it out into the universe. Like if
Yeah.
you don't speak it either, like I believe in speaking those things out loud, even if it's just you're the only one that's hearing it.
Speaking out loud, I have those erasable pens, dry erase pens, and I'll write on my mirror or something. Like there's
Mhm.
some numbers that are good. Sometimes I'll write the numbers up and then like I'll wipe it away the next day. But yes, an expo
This is
pen.
my
That's what we're
money dry
talking about.
eraser. It's green. You guys can't see it, but I have a dry erase and I write on my window right next to my desk.
Anything that works. It's getting it out there and then also just like letting it go. My Ayurvedic doctor that I saw at Ananda was I have anxiety. So he's like, "What are you here for?" And I'm like, "The experience, but also anxiety, which is this stress shoulder and like tension headaches." And one of the things he told me to do was at the end of a day, so like the end of a work day at 6 p.m., write down the things that went well and the things that were frustrating or didn't go well. Now, when it comes to the things that are frustrating or didn't go well, like decode it. Doesn't mean anything. Was it about me? And then like find a way to release it so that you are left with this positive stuff and it makes you feel accomplished. So then you don't,
Yes.
so that's, he calls it the happy hour. And you create this like serotonin leveling out, I guess you said. And then that helps melatonin be created so you can sleep easier at night.
Oh, that
Yes.
makes so much sense.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do this and I'll be able to do it. Like, that's one thing that I can commit to doing for 5 minutes. Can I really decode it and let it go? Maybe not, but at least I'm like going through the process. And so it can
And it
free
might get
me.
easier. Like,
It
the
makes
more
it
you
easier.
practice it, the more, because my husband always says that he had a therapist one time tell him that, like, historical reference in your own life too will teach you how to release things because, like, historically what happened
Yeah.
when this happened. And I think too that'll teach your brain, like, historically, how bad was it?
Yeah.
Like, you can keep, like, looking back, and so the more you practice doing that activity of just, like, was it in my control or was it out of my control? Did it have anything to do with me? Was it personal? Or, like, I'm struggling with something right now, like, literally 3 out of 7 tours I booked for a client for next week are canceled, like, in the last 48 hours. So I've been and I'm very frustrated, like, I'm over
Yes.
it, but it just made me click in, like, I would definitely try to release that tonight because it has nothing specifically to do with me, even though it's my vendors and things like that.
Mhm.
It's just literally somebody just messaged me this morning, was like, "I'm having surgery. It's immediate." Like, obviously, that has 0 to do with me, but
Hopefully you have
trying to
insurance,
find.
but yes.
Right. Yes, I mean, now I have to figure it out, but it doesn't like, and it's giving me anxiety, like, it really is
Yeah.
because she leaves in, like, 4 days. But it's like, we will get it figured out.
Yeah.
I have lots of other connections, like, what historically, does it work itself out? It does. So it's just, like, believing in that too. So,
Yeah. And then
it's
it
a
frees
really
up
cool
your
activity.
energy for like something positive, for
Well, then you
abundance.
can be more creative. Like, I've started looking at different options and moving some of her other tours. Like, she's gonna end up with an entirely different itinerary to make it happen, but it's like, that's what we're here to do, and
Yeah.
that's where I really shine too. So I'm always like, "No, look at it as a positive, like, this gives me the opportunity to really be the hero of this vacation too."
You're so lucky you get to do that, you know?
Exactly. Absolutely. I love that activity. I think I might have to steal it because that's
Yeah.
such a great way to. I I always tell my kids in the car ride, like, whenever I'm in the car, I sometimes pick up my best friend's children too. We do, like, "What was the best part of your day today, and what was the absolute shittiest part of your day?" And then we talk about how to turn that into a positive. Like, we can let that go. It didn't really matter. That math test can be retaken, like, whatever. And yeah, so we just talk about just turning it into, and then just releasing it, because my daughter gets really anxious about her grades, and I'm like, "Well, I personally was highly intelligent in school, but, like, don't really feel like it matters now."
Yeah.
So I try to, like, balance. It's like, yes, we can be achievers, but we don't have to be perfect in
Yeah.
those achievements,
So
and
many
it's
other
just, you're
pressures.
gonna have shitty days, like, you're
Yeah.
gonna have hard things that happen, so just talking about them out loud is also super helpful, like, not just
It's good that you're
holding it.
teaching them that. Yeah. Those are
It's
skills.
it's
Those are skills.
parenting at its best. It's just not shoving it under the rug and pretending like nothing bad ever happens. Like, we live in reality. So I
Yeah.
always say that too. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about reality, and then we can talk about how we're going to navigate it. They're going to be out of the house one day. They're going to have to figure this stuff out. That's why I'm like, but hiding it and procrastinating or avoidance is just, it's not ever going to make it easier to deal with. So, I
Good
love this
one.
so much. This has been so fun, and
Yes.
it is coming to the end of our time, but I would love to hear the 3 free things that you think an advisor could do, like, right after she logs off of here and heads into the office tomorrow morning to start her day. Like, what could she do that is free
Okay, 3 things.
today?
The number one thing would be, okay, I'm sure so many people have webinars, video conferences to their agencies with
Mhm.
DMCs or with BDMs or hotel representatives. Turn your camera on and send a thank you note.
Whew.
Yep.
Turn on my camera.
Turn on your camera and send a thank you note. These people, like, it's their jobs, but they're taking the time to be with
Hmm.
you. And I know you might be in the car, you might not look pretty, and you don't like to be on camera, but like they do this all the time. Imagine how many people have their cameras off. When
So
you
many.
show
I've
up
been
and
on
you have respect.
and even my webinars, like even the ones I do, it's like 2, 3, 4 screens of blank.
Yeah.
Like it's so annoying.
Think about the other person on that end. Half the team, or like you said, 3 or 4 people have their cameras on. Guess who that presenter is going to remember? Those 3 or 4 people that had the cameras on. And send a thank you note. Probably
Love
very
this.
few people send a thank you note. Just thank you for your time. It was very interesting. I hope that one day we can work together. Because guess what? When you do need to work with them, they're going to remember you. Like it's just gracious. And if you were on the other, just think about if you were on the other side, what would mean something to you. So I think that is a good one.
I love this advice so much. We do sometimes feel entitled to a BDM's time,
Yeah.
energy, expertise because we're the client in that situation. But I believe that their time, energy, and expertise is valuable, just like we're valuable. But if we treat them like our worst clients treat us, like how can we expect to build that relationship? That's what I always tell people. A lot of time people will be like, "Oh, I emailed my BDM, they don't email me back." And I was like, "Well, have you shown up for them in any way, shape, or form ever?"
Except when you need
Besides this
something.
one email, because they do have thousands of agents that they're dealing with. They do have a lot of demands, and those jobs are 24/7 for so many of them. Like they live in other countries and they have to travel all over the US and they're always on a plane. So, like, really meeting them where they are goes a long way. And it's so
Yeah.
simple to turn on your camera
It's so
and make
simple.
eye
And
contact.
get that
Yes.
you can't do it all the time, kids running around, you're cooking, whatever. But when you can, yeah, just a little graciousness goes a long
It
way.
can make a big impact on your business long term. That's the thing is like something small that has a big impact. Turning on the camera, sending a thank you card or an
Yeah.
email. That is, I love that. What is number 2?
Is we are travel agents, we run a business. Even if you have a host agency, there is a free resource out there that not enough people are taking advantage of. It's called SCORE. It is a
Mhm.
free mentorship program. Look it up. I did it when I was in the process of starting my website. So you go on, it's for any type of business owner. If you own a card shop or a florist shop, like you can find someone. So you go on, you request a mentor, could be in your area, might be somewhere in the US, and they match you with someone and it's free.
Very cool.
And I have my mentor, Peter, he's amazing, and he, like, made me write a business plan. I'm like, "I'm not asking for a loan. Doesn't matter, we're writing a business plan." And it helped me get crystal clear on who outside of, like, figuring out who my target customer is with your exercises, like, this took it to another level, like, I came up with a business plan, like, where do I see this place? The reason that I decided to use Studio Roam Travel instead of my name is because I see down the line people working for me, and I wouldn't wanna like, I just wanna
Mhm.
open it up for people to do that. Like, he made me think 10 steps ahead of where I needed to be, and he just has insight. He's, 65-year-old retiree who just does this for fun now, or to be kind. So I think SCORE is a great place to go.
Awesome. We will put the website in the show notes.
Good,
Yeah,
yes. If
we
you
will
get
drop
Peter,
that.
you're very lucky. And then another one, this is a good one, I think, is there's a website called Quoted, QED, Quoted, and it's a place where, like, reporters go, writers go to get quotes from people. So you fill out a profile, you write down some hashtags of things that apply to you. So travel, travel agent, Europe, whatever, and you'll get email notifications when someone's looking to write an article and needs experts. So
That is a cool idea, girl.
I know. So if it applies,
So fun.
it's amazing. And I've only done one because you can't use AI for this stuff. They will write. Please do not rate AI. Like, they can tell. These are
Oh, I
reporters.
literally had to write that today in a post because I'm looking for podcast guests for next season. And I'm like, I've gotten a couple of AI filled out forms, which is your story and your specialties. And like
Ew.
the questions I ask you guys are not chat GPT appropriate. I'm
Yeah.
like, gonna say it out loud, but please do not use chat GPT or you will not be chosen to be on the
Yeah.
show. Like,
GPT is great, but not for everything. Yeah, and these writers know, like, they know.
oh my God, of course.
Yeah. Whether
Like,
this or that,
yes,
or
and I'm not saying I don't use it. I'm like, but not to
this time and a place.
be authentic. Yeah, like it's good girl. Girl, I have so many thoughts.
Yeah.
I love this idea. I'm absolutely gonna fill out a
It's
profile.
good. And if you, like, especially if you're an agent with your own site, you can, if you start getting quoted by, publications, throw it in the bottom, talk about credibility, and it gets your
And
name
the
out there.
SEO is so
SEO.
good once you're quoted. I actually have been quoted in some articles, and whenever I Google myself, they pop up. Like,
Yeah, so it's great, and
yeah.
I think it gives you a certain amount of credits free per month, but then you if
Mhm.
you want to pitch, as they call it, you have to pay, which I'm not paying. I'm waiting for the ones that fit and are aligned with me,
Sure.
and then I can write to them. So I found that resource out, and I'm like, "This is a gold mine. How come no one's talking about this?"
Yeah, because people don't know. I mean, there's so much out there, like you said at the beginning, like it's so much noise. It's like finding the right things that make sense for your business. I mean, that's what this entire situation is all about. Just, I keep saying, even if you're just an entrepreneur, listen to this pod because
Yes.
there is so much like stuff inside of these hour and a half interviews. Like, you guys are giving us all just gold in this. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, everyone should be listening, not just because it's me, like literally because my guests are full of gold. Like, you guys have the best
Yeah.
ideas. It's, yeah. Every single episode is like this. I'm just like, listen to the episodes, listen to them again because you're going to hear something different like the next time you listen. And I love this. I'm so excited. So we will also drop the link for Quoted in the show notes. And I'm also going to have Elena send me all of her information so that you can follow her, connect with her if you feel connected in general to her. Okay, what's your third one?
Give a third one.
I have an email. I have an email.
Camera on. No, camera on, score, and quoted.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. But
I
I've got
love
more,
that
I've got
so
more.
much. I love it. No, you had sent me an email and I scanned it because I'm not, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's free. I need to hop on. But no, I love that. I love these ideas. I love just being able, and you've given so much to us today. And for our last must do each episode is, what is your unpopular travel advisor opinion?
Okay, this is hugely controversial. However, I am with an agency where I give more of my split than most people would say is good. But for me, it has value. Right
Hmm.
now, I'm with an agent. She's the first woman that ever sent someone to orbit. She's next level.
So
And
cool.
she is willing to mentor. She's getting a little bit older and she's like, I'm not gonna have this forever. Like, I want to teach people. So she's a mentor. She is like, I've gone with her to polo matches and hosted events. She's introduced me, like when I went to Virtuoso Travel Week, she's like, here, you're going to lunch with Mandy and Oriental, dinner with Belmont. Like, I wouldn't have had those opportunities
Right.
otherwise. And she gives me so much mentorship. And so for me, that's really valuable. Like, I don't think, am I making as much as I would if I was with another agency? I don't know because maybe I wouldn't be having the sales or
Because the
like,
value is not necessarily in just the dollar, for
yeah,
sure.
it's definitely like quality, not quantity at this point. And for me, it works right now. I don't necessarily like it's a rare situation that I'm in, and I don't know that it would work for everyone else. But like you have to see like return on investment again. Like everything that I do is
Mhm.
valued, and like is it worth my time or my money? And my choice here was like I'd rather be with this person. Previously, I was my first agency. I was with an agency that just like wasn't an aligned agency for me. Lovely people, but it like focused on Disney, and that just like wasn't who
Right.
my clientele was. So for me, it works and it works for now. And I'm really grateful about that.
I think what we can take away from this, because obviously I talk a lot about splits, is that as long as you know what you are getting for the split, like have a full understanding of what that value is to you. And if you're okay with lower split because you are getting either mentorship or some other version of what's important to you. I've never said, hey, like, I don't like hosts or I don't like this. It's what I don't like is like the control aspect of a lot of smaller agencies. Plus, they take all this commission from you. Like, there's like these
Yeah.
combinations of different kinds of agencies that are, in my opinion, taking advantage of really successful people because of uneducation. But Elena, you've done all your research. You know exactly what you're looking for. You've made so much effort into understanding what you need right now in your business. And if that means giving up a little more commission to get you where you need to go, that's like a perfect fit. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Find your perfect fit, but don't just also look at all the bells and whistles somebody is saying. It's like she's obviously also walking the walk with you. You know,
Yeah.
she's lining up opportunities. She mentors you. She answers all your questions. Like, she's ready to potentially retire in a few years, and she wants to make sure she's leaving a legacy. And that is being around legacy leaving women is like worth every penny.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's how I feel. So that's fantastic. I'm glad that you have found somebody that meets all your needs and will lead you where you need to go next in this chapter of travel. So I love this so much. Thank you for sharing so much with us today. This was
Sure.
packed.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. So it has just been a joy, and I'm so grateful to you, Elena.
Yeah, same. And if anyone ever has any questions about single parenting out there, I'm here for you.
Love it. Thank you
There are
so
not a lot of
much.
resources out there.
There's so much noise, and then there's,
Yeah,
like, you can
forget.
hone in on one person. I really appreciate that. So, we really loved having you, and you guys, this is the last episode of season 2. So, if you are missing me, I'll be back in 2026, but until then, just go back to episode 1 and start over fresh. Bye, guys. That's a wrap on today's episode, friend. Thanks for hanging out with me again on the No BS Travel Advisor podcast. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling fired up, inspired, and ready to take back control of your business. And let's be honest, your fucking life. If today's episode hit home, do me a favor and share it with your fellow travel advisors who need to hear this. And don't forget to leave a review. Your support means the world and helps me reach more badass advisors like you. And hey, if you've got a story to share or some no BS advice of your own, you've taken a course or two of mine, maybe you've been a coaching client, I want to hear from you. Head to my website to apply to be a guest. I'd love to feature you on an upcoming episode. Until then, you fucking got this. Keep being bold, keep being unapologetic, and keep building the business you fucking deserve. This is Marcie Muensterman signing off with zero fluff and a whole lot of heart.